We were lying on my dorm bed, half watching Netflix, when he looked at me and said it. "You're not special, you're just convenient." I laughed at first, thinking it was some dark joke, but his eyes didn't flicker. He meant it. The room felt smaller suddenly, like the walls were closing in. My chest tightened, but I forced a smile. I'd gotten good at pretending things didn't hurt. "That's harsh," I said, trying to keep my voice light. He shrugged and turned back to the screen like he'd just commented on the weather. The Netflix show kept playing, but I couldn't focus on anything except those words echoing in my head. He stayed the night like nothing happened. I lay there, listening to him breathe, staring at the ceiling, replaying the moment over and over. The casual way he'd said it made it worse somehow, like it was just a fact he'd been thinking for a while. When morning came, he kissed me goodbye and left for his morning class. I stayed in bed for another hour, feeling hollow. Then I noticed something on my desk that would change everything. His phone was sitting there, screen down, right next to my water bottle. He'd been in such a rush to make his economics lecture that he'd grabbed his backpack and left without it. At first, I thought I'd just text him from my phone to let him know he'd left, but then it started buzzing and buzzing. Message after message lighting up the screen. Even face down, I could see the glow. My curiosity won. I flipped it over and saw notification after notification sliding down. "You up?" with a winky face. "Last night was amazing," with heart emojis. "Can't stop thinking about you." My stomach dropped to the floor. He'd been gone less than an hour, and these weren't from me. The timestamps showed messages from different numbers, different girls, all sending the same flirty energy I thought was reserved for me. I sat on the edge of my bed, holding his phone like it was evidence of a crime. Because maybe it was. My hands were shaking as another message popped up that made my blood freeze. The newest message was from someone saved as Jake Sigma Pi. It said, "Bro, she still thinks she's your only one? Savage." I read it 3 times before it sank in. They were talking about me. I was she. I was the girl who still thought she was his only one. My throat felt tight, like I couldn't swallow. The phone kept buzzing in my hands, more messages from more people. Girls saying good morning, guys making jokes I didn't understand yet. It was like holding a window into a life I didn't know existed. I looked at his lock screen, just a generic background. Nothing personal, no pictures of us, no cute couple stuff. I realized I'd never actually seen him use his phone much around me. He always kept it face down, said he liked being present when we hung out. What a lie that turned out to be. My thumb hovered over the screen. Did it have a passcode? Was I really going to do this? The rational part of my brain said to stop, put it down, wait for him to come back. But the hurt part, the part that kept hearing, "You're not special," made the decision for me. Just before you continue to watch, please subscribe to this channel and like this video. It would encourage and help us keep creating amazing content for you. All right, back to the story. The screen unlocked immediately. No passcode, no fingerprint, nothing. He'd made it so easy. I opened his messages first, hands trembling as I scrolled through name after name. Sarah, Emma, Jess, Nicole, all recent conversations, all flirty, all suggesting he was single. My name was there too, buried in the middle, just Maya, like I was no more important than the rest. The group chats were worse. Sigma Pi Bros, the council, weekend plans. I clicked on the Sigma Pi one first and immediately wished I hadn't. Screenshots of girls, ratings, discussions about who was worth pursuing and who was just practice. I saw a photo of myself from last week when we went to dinner. I was laughing at something he'd said, completely unaware someone was taking my picture. The comments underneath made me feel sick. "Solid 7, one person had written. "Good practice girlfriend material," said another. Practice girlfriend material. That's what I was. I kept scrolling, finding months of this. A whole system, a whole game I was playing without knowing the rules. And I was losing badly. Then I found a group chat that made everything else look tame. It was called Project. And when I opened it, I realized this wasn't just casual hookup culture. This was organized. The chat had 8 members, all guys from his fraternity. They had a system for meeting girls, dating them, and then comparing notes. They shared techniques, strategies, even scripts for certain situations. What to say when she asks about being exclusive, how to juggle multiple without getting caught. I found my name in a message from 3 months ago, right after we first met. New recruit, Maya, who's got dibs on the next one. Like I was a job assignment. The worst part was seeing how calculated everything had been. The restaurant he took me to on our first date, someone else had suggested it because girls always fall for that place. The flowers he brought me last week, because Jake had said it was a good move to keep girls happy and distracted. I was a case study, a project, a convenient practice dummy for guys learning how to manipulate women. My ears were ringing and I could barely see straight. But I kept reading because I needed to know how deep this went. A new message popped up in the group chat as I was reading. It was from Jake. Introducing tonight's recruit, Sarah from biology. Who's got next after Tyler's done? They were talking about another girl the same way they'd talked about me, like she was a toy they were passing around, a game they were playing. I wondered if Sarah had any idea what she was walking into tonight. The chat kept going. Make sure to get photos for the archive. Yeah, and rate her after the first week like we did with Maya. Archive, rating system. They had folders full of pictures and detailed reviews of every girl they'd collectively dated. I was just one entry in their disgusting database. I scrolled up to see more of their conversation about me. They'd tracked everything, where I like to eat, what movies I cried at, even personal things I'd told Tyler in confidence. All of it shared, analyzed, used as intel for the next guy's approach. But then I saw something that made my hands shake with rage instead of just hurt. My roommate's name was in the chat. Lily, my best friend since freshman year, the person I told everything to. She wasn't just mentioned, she was an active participant. Lily says Maya will be at the library tonight until 10. Read a message from 2 weeks ago. Good opportunity if anyone wants to accidentally run into her. Another message. Lily confirmed Maya's still clueless about the other girls. Keep it that way. I clicked on Lily's contact info. She'd been texting with Tyler regularly, not just giving him information, but actively helping him deceive me. Screenshots showed her telling him my class schedule, my emotional state, even when I was upset about our relationship. She was feeding him information so he could manipulate me better. The betrayal cut deeper than anything Tyler had done. He was just some guy I'd been dating for 4 months. Lily was supposed to be my person, my safe space, the one who had my back, no matter what. Instead, she'd been selling me out the whole time. I felt like I couldn't breathe. My best friend and my boyfriend had been working together to make me look like a fool. How many times had I come home and cried to her about Tyler being distant, only for her to text him my weaknesses? I clicked on a folder in the group chat labeled Evidence Archive. My stomach twisted as photos loaded. Pictures I'd never seen before. Taken without my knowledge. There was Tyler with Lily in our dorm room, on my bed. My bed sheets, the ones with the stupid pineapple pattern I'd picked out freshman year, were tangled around them. Lily was smiling at the camera like this was the funniest thing in the world. The timestamp showed it was from last Tuesday, when I'd been in biology lab. I remember coming home that day and Lily saying she'd taken a nap. The bed had looked messy, but I hadn't thought anything of it. There were more photos from different days, different angles. They'd been using my room as their hookup spot while I was in class. My own bed, my own space, violated by the 2 people I trusted most. I could see texts from Lily coordinating with Tyler. Maya has chem lab until 4. Coast is clear. She's at dinner with her study group. We have at least 2 hours. They'd planned it all around my schedule, made sure I'd never catch them. The final photo in the album showed them taking a selfie on my pillow, both grinning like they'd won something. The caption Tyler had added was, "Level completed." I stared at my laptop screen, cursor blinking in an empty document. My hands had stopped shaking, replaced by something colder and more focused. I needed to document everything.
I connected Tyler's phone to my computer and started transferring files, screenshots of every group chat message, every photo, every planning session. The rating system where I'd been scored a 6.5 out of 10 for long-term potential, but an 8 for practice value. I saved the archive folder, the strategic planning messages, the conversations about Sarah and the other girls who were about to be targeted. Everything that proved this wasn't just cheating. It was systematic emotional abuse disguised as college dating. While files copied, I opened a new browser tab and started researching. Campus policies on harassment, revenge strategies that had worked for other women, legal implications of sharing private messages. I wasn't just angry anymore. I was strategic. The rational part of my brain whispered that I should just break up with him quietly, move on, find someone better. But the part that had been called not special and convenient wanted something bigger. I didn't just want to hurt Tyler. I wanted to destroy the entire system that had made me feel worthless. By sunset, I had a plan that would make them all pay. Not just Tyler and Lily, but the whole fraternity network that treated women like objects to be collected and rated. I set up anonymous accounts on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all with the same name, Project Exposed. The bio read, "We think we don't know. We know everything." I designed the profile picture to look official, professional, like a real news source. I drafted my first post. What if I told you that guys at Sigma Pi have a group chat where they rate girls, share private information, and coordinate who gets to date you next? What if I had screenshots to prove it? The Campus Anonymous confession page had 12,000 followers. If I could get them to share my content, this would spread fast. I wrote up submission templates, made infographics showing how the system worked, even created a timeline of their targets. But I wasn't going to post anything yet. Tyler would notice his phone missing soon, and I needed him to think everything was normal until I was ready to strike. My laptop was full of evidence, but I needed something more. Something that would make this undeniable. Tyler called my phone around dinner time, panic clear in his voice. "Hey babe, I think I left my phone at your place. Can I come grab it real quick? You didn't look through it or anything, right?" The casual way he asked made my blood boil. Like looking through someone's phone was the worst thing you could do, while he and his friends had been systematically manipulating me for months. "Of course not," I said, making my voice sound hurt that he'd even ask. "I would never invade your privacy like that." "I knew you could trust me, Maya," he said, relief flooding his voice. "You're so loyal, Maya. That's what I love about you." Loyal. The word tasted like poison. I'd been loyal while he'd been treating me like a game. I'd been loyal while my best friend helped him betray me. "I'll be there in 20 minutes, he said. "I love you." "Love you too," I replied, the lie burning my throat. I hung up and looked at his phone, still connected to my laptop, still transferring files. 20 minutes to finish this and set my trap. I disconnected his phone and slid it into my desk drawer. From my junk box, I pulled out an old iPhone I'd cracked freshman year. Same model, same color. I wrapped it in a towel and dropped it a few more times to make the damage look fresh. When Tyler knocked, I was ready. I opened the door with my best concerned girlfriend face and handed him the broken phone. "I'm so sorry," I said, letting my voice shake. "I accidentally knocked it off my desk when I was cleaning. I think it's completely dead." He took it without really looking, just shoved it in his pocket while muttering about insurance claims. Then he pulled me close and kissed my forehead.
"Don't worry about it, babe. These things happen. You're so clumsy sometimes, but that's okay. I still love you." Clumsy. Another little dig disguised as affection. How had I never noticed how many times he subtly insulted me while pretending to be sweet? He left after 10 minutes, saying he needed to deal with the phone situation. I watched from my window as he walked across campus, completely clueless that his real phone was still in my possession. That night, I worked until 3 a.m. organizing everything I'd found into a presentation that would ruin them all. I launched the Instagram account at midnight with my first post, a carousel of screenshots showing the project group chat. No names visible yet, just enough to prove the system existed. The caption read, "This is how they see us, not as people, but as experiments, as practice. Swipe to see how they coordinate your entire relationship behind your back."
Within an hour, I had 200 followers. By morning, it was 2,000. The comments were a mix of outrage, disbelief, and girls sharing their own experiences of feeling manipulated by guys who seemed too good to be true. I posted again at lunch, screenshots of their rating system, with faces blurred but conversations clear. Girls messaging me privately asking if their boyfriends were part of this. Some recognized writing styles, others remembered strange coincidences that suddenly made sense. The third post was the archive folder. Dozens of photos of girls who clearly didn't know they were being photographed, ranked and categorized like products. I kept faces blurred but included enough detail for people to recognize themselves. By evening, the account had 8,000 followers and was getting attention from people beyond our campus. Someone had started a hashtag Project Exposed. Tuesday morning, I woke up to my phone buzzing nonstop. The Instagram account now had 15,000 followers and people were sharing screenshots on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. But I also had threatening messages, anonymous accounts telling me to take everything down or face consequences. "You have no idea who you're messing with," one said. "Delete this or you'll regret it." Another message was more specific. "We know who you are, Maya. Stop this now." My hands trembled as I read that one. They'd figured it out. Somehow they knew I was behind the account. I screenshotted all the threats and added them to my evidence folder. If they wanted to play intimidation games, I'd show everyone exactly how these guys responded when called out. A knock at my door made me jump. Through the peephole, I saw Tyler standing in the hallway, and his face wasn't the usual charming mask I was used to seeing. This was going to be the confrontation I'd been preparing for. I opened the door, and Tyler pushed past me into the room. His face was red with anger, and he was holding a new phone. "You think you're special now? You think exposing us makes you some kind of hero? You just made yourself a target." I stayed calm, even though my heart was racing. "I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't lie to me, Maya. I know you have my phone. I know you're behind that Instagram account. You're about to learn what happens when you mess with us." He stepped closer, trying to intimidate me with his height, but I'd been preparing for this moment for days. I pulled out my laptop and turned the screen toward him. "You mean this phone?" I asked, showing him a photo of his device connected to my computer. "The one with all your group chat screenshots saved to the cloud?" His face went pale. "You can't. That's illegal. You stole my property. And you stole 4 months of my life. Plus, check your messages." I opened his phone and showed him the group chat. His frat brothers were furious. The Sigma P group chat was in chaos. I watched Tyler's face crumble as he read message after message from his so-called brothers. "Tyler, what the hell is wrong with you? You kept screenshots of everything like a psycho? The national office is asking questions." "This is all your fault," Jake had written. "You were supposed to be careful with the evidence. Now we're all screwed." "Bro, my girlfriend saw the Instagram. She's asking if I'm part of this. Thanks for ruining it for everyone." They weren't mad about hurting women. They were mad about getting caught. And they were all blaming Tyler for being sloppy with his documentation. "We need to kick Tyler out before this gets worse," one message read. "He's becoming a liability." Tyler's hands were shaking as he scrolled through his friends turning on him. The group that had felt so powerful and exclusive was eating itself alive now that consequences were real. "They're going to kick me out," he whispered, more to himself than to me. "Good," I said. "Maybe you'll learn what it feels like to be disposable." Lily burst through my door without knocking, her face streaked with tears and mascara. "Maya, you have to help me. The school is investigating me. They're saying I could lose my housing, maybe even get expelled." I looked at her calmly. "Why would they investigate you?" "Don't be dumb," she sobbed. "I know you posted those screenshots. Some of them show me helping Tyler. But you don't understand. He made me do it. He said if I didn't help him, he'd tell everyone about my scholarship fraud from freshman year." A lie. I'd found her messages in Tyler's phone, and she'd been eager to help him from the beginning. She'd enjoyed betraying me. "You used my bed, Lily. You had sex with my boyfriend in my room and then comforted me when I cried about feeling like he was distant." She collapsed on my desk chair. "It wasn't supposed to go this far. We were just having fun. You were never supposed to get hurt this badly." "Was it worth it?" I asked, echoing Tyler's favorite question. "Was it worth destroying our friendship for a guy who rated you a 7.5 in his group chat?"
Her face went white. She didn't know about the ratings. The dean's office was intimidating. Dark wood, heavy curtains, diplomas covering every wall. Dean Morrison sat across from me, my laptop open between us, showing the Project Exposed Instagram account. "Ms. Rodriguez," she said, "we need to know who's running this account. While we appreciate students reporting misconduct, the methods being used raise concerns about privacy violations." I stayed quiet, like my research had told me to do. Let them talk first. "However," she continued, "I want you to know that my daughter attends this university. She showed me this account, and frankly, it's opened our eyes to some serious problems we weren't aware of." She pulled out a thick folder. "We've received 17 formal complaints from female students in the past week, all describing similar experiences with members of Sigma Pi fraternity." My heart jumped. Other girls were coming forward. The university is launching a full investigation into the fraternity's activities, and we're reviewing our policies on Greek life conduct. This account, whoever runs it, has prompted necessary changes. As I left her office, Dean Morrison's daughter caught me in the hallway. She winked and whispered, "Thank you." My phone rang at 7 p.m., a number I didn't recognize, but a voice I knew too well. Tyler's mother, crying on the other end of the line. "Maya, please, I'm begging you. Tyler told me everything. He said you have some kind of evidence that could ruin his future. He's just a boy. Boys make mistakes. Please don't destroy his life over this." Her voice was desperate, pleading. I almost felt sorry for her. "Mrs. Patterson," I said gently, "did Tyler tell you what he did?" "He said there was some kind of misunderstanding with his fraternity and you got the wrong idea about some messages." I pulled up my voice memo app and played her the recording I'd made of Tyler saying I wasn't special, just convenient. Then I played some of the audio messages from his phone where he and his friends laughed about manipulating girls. The line went quiet. I could hear her crying softly. "I raised him better than this," she whispered. "I thought I raised him to respect women. His father and we never—" "I'm sorry you had to hear it this way," I said, "but he needs to face consequences, or he'll just do this to someone else." She hung up without another word. The consequences came fast and hard. Within 2 weeks of my Instagram account going viral, Tyler lost his academic scholarship. The university had found evidence of the fraternity's systematic harassment and revoked funding for any member who participated. Sigma Pi was suspended for 3 years. Their house closed, their charter revoked. Tyler would have to finish college somewhere else if he wanted a degree. Lily lost her housing and was put on academic probation. Her parents drove down from Oregon to move her stuff out. I watched from my window as she loaded boxes into their car, her mom crying the entire time. I felt a stab of sadness watching her leave. We'd been friends for 2 years before Tyler came between us. But I also felt lighter, like a weight I didn't know I'd been carrying was finally gone. Walking across campus became surreal. People whispered when they saw me, some with admiration, others with suspicion. I'd become infamous, the girl who'd taken down an entire fraternity. But I wasn't done yet. Tyler was still trying to save face, and I had one more move to make. A girl I'd never met stopped me outside the library on Thursday. She was crying, clutching a printout of one of my Instagram posts. "Are you the girl who exposed them?" she asked. "The one who ran Project Exposed?" I didn't confirm or deny it, but she kept talking. "I was supposed to be next. Some guy named Jake had been texting me, asking me out. When I saw your posts, I recognized his writing style from the screenshots. You saved me from going through what you went through." More girls approached over the following days. Sarah from biology, who'd been Tyler's next target. Emma from his econ class, who'd been getting suspicious when he seemed to know too much about her schedule.
Nicole from the coffee shop, who thought it was cute how many of his friends had suddenly started conversations with her. We weren't victims anymore. We were a network of women who'd seen through their system and refused to play their games. The local news picked up the story after the university released a statement about new policies on Greek life conduct. The person behind Project Exposed has chosen to remain anonymous, but their impact on campus culture has been undeniable, the reporter said into the camera. I watched from my dorm room, my face blurred in the background of campus shots. What started as one student's response to emotional manipulation has sparked a campus-wide conversation about consent, respect, and the power dynamics in college relationships. They interviewed Dean Morrison, who announced new mandatory workshops on healthy relationships for all students. They spoke to other students about similar experiences at different schools, about the need for better education on digital consent and emotional abuse. The hashtag Project Exposed had spread to other campuses. Girls were sharing their own stories, exposing similar systems at fraternities across the country. My anonymous Instagram account now had over 100,000 followers from dozens of universities. I'd accidentally started a movement. The reporter concluded, while the methods used by Project Exposed remain controversial, few can argue with the results. Sometimes it takes one person willing to speak up to change an entire culture.
Tyler created a new Instagram account and tried to rebuild his image. He posted gym selfies and motivational quotes about learning from mistakes and becoming a better man. But I still had his old phone, and I wasn't finished with him yet. He sent me a direct message from his new account. You may have won this round, Maya, but you'll never be special. You'll always be the girl who had to destroy other people to feel important. I screenshot his message and posted it to my Project Exposed account with a simple caption. He's right, I'm not special, but I'm not convenient anymore either. The post went viral. Comments flooded in from women sharing their own experiences with men who tried to diminish them. Hashtag I'm not special started trending, with women reclaiming the phrase and using it to celebrate their worth. Tyler's message had backfired completely. Instead of hurting me, he'd given me the perfect closing statement. I blocked his new account and decided it was time to focus on my own life instead of his destruction. Spring semester started with significant changes. Sigma Pi's house sat empty, windows boarded up, letters removed from the front. The university had implemented new policies requiring transparency in Greek life activities and mandatory education on emotional abuse. I'd transferred to a single dorm room and thrown away my old pineapple sheets. My grades had actually improved once I wasn't spending all my emotional energy on Tyler's manipulation games. The Project Exposed account was still active, but I'd turned it over to a group of women from different schools who wanted to continue the work. They were organizing workshops, creating resources for survivors, and lobbying for policy changes at universities across the country. I still got recognized sometimes, whispers of, "That's the Project Exposed girl." But mostly, life was returning to normal. Better than normal, actually. I'd learned I was stronger than I thought. I'd learned my voice mattered. And I'd learned that sometimes the best revenge is simply refusing to stay silent. Dating wasn't on my radar yet, but when it was, I'd know exactly what to look for and what to avoid. 6 months later, I was sitting in my favorite coffee shop when I overheard 2 freshman girls talking at the next table. "Did you hear about Project Exposed? It happened before we got here, but apparently some girl took down an entire fraternity for treating women like objects." "No way! What happened to her?" "Nobody knows who she was. She stayed anonymous the whole time, but people say she's still here on campus, just living her life like a normal student."
I smiled and returned to my textbook. They were right. I was just a normal student now. But I was also the girl who'd learned her worth wasn't determined by how other people treated her. My phone buzzed with a message from a girl at a university in Texas. Just wanted to thank you for showing us it's possible to fight back. We started our own account here, and we've already helped 3 girls realize they were being manipulated. I replied, "You don't need me anymore. You've got this." And they did. The movement had grown beyond what I could have imagined. That night, I held Tyler's phone in my trembling hands. I wasn't special. I was something better. I was awake. And once you wake up to your own power, you never go back to sleep. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video, comment, and smash the subscribe button. Also, check out other videos on the channel. We've got more interesting stories for you.